Well, now we are joined by UWL political science professor Joe Heim to help us take a look at what we heard tonight from Donald Trump.
And thanks for
a lot.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Let's start actually with this week as a whole. Do you think Donald Trump said anything with the Republican leadership that he's going to unite this party?
Well, I think he covered a lot of bases, a lot of the typical Republican bases that, by the way, had not been covered much of this week. But he also covered some new things. He's clearly got a populist tone, which is new for the Republican Party. The convention had a little bit of a disaster almost every night until tonight. This was the first night that essentially everything kind of went together. Now, I don't think that's necessarily going to damage the party going down the road, but frankly, they needed a strong speech from Donald Trump tonight, and they got it.
You know, a lot of people would say when they were listening to Donald Trump, they really wanted to hear exactly how he planned on doing things, but tonight it sounded more like he was almost just coming up with a to-do list.
It really was a to-do list. He covered a lot of bases. He covered a lot of basic things and said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But it was a little short on plans, a little short. He said at one point, he said, I've got a plan for certain things, and I'm going to show you. And he never really talked any details. You know, we're waiting for details. Maybe they're going to come. But saying that you're going to do something is quite different than actually getting it done.
He really painted a picture of rising poverty, rising crime rates, corruption, and he's the man to turn this around.
Those are the kind of things that Republicans typically don't talk about very much. That's why it was very interesting. You know, I am your voice, that, you know, populist kind of a tone, basically going to do things to the middle class, to create jobs, to bring jobs back to the country. Many of these things economists question whether you can really do them, but he in a sense is trying to make those promises because frankly that's what you do in politics. You make promises and hope you can deliver.
Well, not surprisingly, Donald has said he wants to make the United States first again. But at the same time, when he was talking about, you know, some people might want to hear more about globalism just because of trade and things like that, he really was almost taking on an isolationist kind of theme.
He is not an internationalist by the normal standards of the Republican Party. He's attacked NATO, for example. He said he's going to do things about ISIS, but he's not really going to send troops to the Mideast. So he's a little bit different. He's almost a neo-isolationist. A lot of the internationalists in the Republican Party are not supporting him as a result of that. You know, he's obviously anti-trade. He would essentially move us back to 20 or 30 years when we didn't have trade deals. And that's a lot of economists question whether that's really the right thing to do for the country in the future. But it does sell well to people who are concerned about the economy, concerned about their jobs, concerned about their income.
Okay, Joe, thanks very much for your insight as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.